Hello, I am recording the video and today's topic is LinkU. LinkU Language Integrated Query. Language Integrated Query is the name of a set of technologies based on the integration of query capabilities directly into the C# language. Traditionally, queries against the data are expressed as a simple string without type checking at compile time or IntelliSense support. Furthermore, you have to learn a different query language for each type of data source: SQL database, XML documents, various web services, and so on. With a LinkU, a query is a first class language construct just like classes, method, events. You write a query against a strongly typed collection of objects by using language keyword and familiar operators. The LinkU family of technologies provides a consistent query experience for object, relational database, and XML. For a developer who writes a query, the most visible language integrated part of LinkU is the query expression. Query expressions are written in a declarative query syntax. By using query syntax, you can perform filtering, ordering, and grouping operations on a data source with a minimum of code. You use the same basic query expression pattern to query and transform data in SQL database, ADO.NET dataset, XML documents, and streams, and .NET collections. You can write a linked query in C# for SQL Server database, XML documents, ADO.NET database, and any collection of the object that supports IEnable or the generic IEnable T interface. LinkU support is also provided by the third parties for many web services and other database implementations. Query expressions overview. Query expressions can be used to query and to transform data from any LinkU enabled data source. For example, a single query can retrieve data from a SQL database and produce an XML stream as output. Query expressions are easy to grasp because they use many familiar C# language constructs. The variable in a query expression are all strongly typed, although in many cases you do not have to provide the type explicitly because the compiler can infer it. For more information, see type relationship in linked query operations. A query is not executed until you iterate over the variable. For example, in a for each statements. For more information, see Introduction to LinkU queries. At compile time, query expressions are converted to standard query operator method call according to the rules set forth in the C# specification. Any query that can be expressed by using query syntax can also be expressed by using method syntax. However, in most cases, query syntax is more readable and concise. For more information, see C# languages specification and standard query operators overview. As a rule, when you write LinkU queries, we recommended that you use query syntax whenever possible and method syntax whenever necessary. There is no semantic or performance difference between the two different forms. Query expressions are often more readable than equivalent expressions written in a method syntax. Some query operations such as count or max, have no equivalent query expression cost and must therefore be expressed as a method call. Method syntax can be combined with query syntax in various ways. For more information, see query syntax and method syntax in a LINQ. Query expressions can be compiled to expression trees or to delegates depending on the type that the query is applied. To IEnumerable T, queries are compiled. To delegates iQueryable T, queries are compiled to expression trees. The LINQ extends the language by the addition of query expressions which are akin to SQL statements and can be used to conventionally extract the and process data from arrays, IEnumerable classes, XML document, relational database, and third-party data source. Other uses which utilize query expressions as a general framework for readably composing arbitrary computations include the constructions of event handlers or monadic parsers. It also defines a set of method names called standard query operators or standard sequence operators, along with translation rules used by the compiler to translate query syntax expression into expression using fluent style called method syntax by Microsoft, with these method names lambda expression and anonymous types. Many of the concepts that LINQ introduced were originally tested in Microsoft's research project. Ports of LINQ exist for PHP, JavaScript, TypeScript, and ActionScript. Although none are strictly equivalent to LINQ in the .NET inspired languages C#, F#, and VB.NET, where it is a part of the language, not an external library, and where it often addresses a wider range of needs. Architecture of LINQ in the .NET framework. Standard Query Operator API. In what follows, the descriptions of the operator are based on the application of working with collections. Many of the operators take other functions as argument. These functions may be supplied in the form of named method or anonymous functions. The set of query operators defined by LINQ is exposed to the user as the standard query operator API. The query operator supported by the API. Language extension. While LINQ is primarily implemented as a library for .NET Framework 3.5, it also defines optional language extensions that make queries a first-class language construct and provide static sugar for writing queries. These language extensions have initially been implemented in C#, 3.0, VB 9.0, F#, and Oxygen, with other languages like Nemeral having announced preliminary support. The language extension include. Thank you.